Peace and blessings. My name is SG-1 from Music Millionaires TV and the Grammy Award winning team, The Peacemakers, and we've teamed up with Maschine Masters to share with you the #1 thing never done by artists and what steps you need to take right now. Stay tuned. Now, first things first, this video will be in 2 parts, and the second video will be provided in a link in the description below, located on my channel, Music Business Tips, or you can search for Music Millionaires TV. Now, if you've watched the first 2 videos I've done on this channel, you know that we've already covered selling your beats online and getting major placements, and you can find these videos in the description link below. Now, as you know, I constantly reiterate the importance of understanding this is a business, and businesses are created to make money. However, in order to make money, you must know where your income streams will be coming from. And none is more important than your royalties. Now, when you decided to become a producer or an artist, you made a decision to do something you have a passion for, hopefully, and to make money from it. And like most choices in life, we hope you understand that it's a decision that has to be taken seriously. You could have easily become a doctor, fireman, joined law enforcement, or even the military. Maybe you're in one of those fields right now, but you have made the choice to change your job title. As so, like any of those jobs I've already mentioned, there is training involved. You don't just get a needle as a doctor or a nurse and start poking people, do you? The point that I'm trying to make is that there is training involved with anything you do. And that training involves educating yourself. Now, before I jump into a couple of ways you can get paid and how this one simple step, almost never taken by producers or artists, affects you getting paid, let me delve into the universal word everyone tends to know: royalties. Now, what is royalties? As defined by the internet, royalties is when a royalty payment is made to the legal owner of a property, patent, copyright, work, or franchise by those who want to make use of it for the purpose of generating revenue. In most cases, royalties are designed to compensate the owner of the asset used. The first thing we need to do is distinguish between recording artist royalties and songwriter or publisher royalties. However, let's define songwriter. The songwriter is the person or people who write the lyrics and melody for songs, whereas a publisher is the person or company who works with the songwriters to promote their songs. Now, publishers usually get either partial or total ownership of a song's copyright, known as assignments or transfer. Publishers normally pitch the songs to record labels, televisions, or movie producers, or anyone else who may be interested in it. They then license the right to use the song and charge fees. Those fees are typically split 50-50 with the songwriter. Now, there is a difference between a songwriter and a performer, as highly mistaken in today's music arena. Oftentimes, people get artists like Beyonce confused for a songwriter as well, when more than likely, most of your favorite artists only perform or record the composition you hear on their album. However, that is not to say all artists don't songwrite, as that would be incorrect to conclude. Let me explain more. A performer is basically anyone who licenses a song in order to publicly perform as a performer or performing artist. The performer doesn't have control of the song. It's controlled by the songwriter or the publisher, or possibly even the record label. Now, real quick, let me share something with you as an example. Rihanna or Beyonce are highly considered performers and have been known to write a song from time to time, but mostly they purchase rights to songs. Now, I have a video on my channel called The Most Important Tool a Producer Can Have. Go check it out and it'll explain more. But let me get back to my point. Many and most of the time, big name artists like those I've already mentioned will negotiate terms to buy a song from a ghostwriter only if they're getting writing credit as well or own the song as a writer. What this does is it will allow them now to acquire the songwriter's royalties or split those royalties with the original writer. Many times, deals won't even be inked, no matter how great or hot the track is, if the copyright holder decides not to share or give up their percentage to the work. Now, the question would be, why would the performer even think that they should be asking for the royalties or the rights to a song? Well, let me explain to you how performers' mindsets are. They understand that their current status, especially if it's a Beyonce type performer, will broaden or even make a writer's career more successful than it probably already is, or even make them a known name if they're not already a currently known writer. So basically, a performer looks at it as a win-win for the writer and for them. Also, it gives the illusion that the artist wrote the song, with possibly a co-writer's involvement. And yes, the music game gets this deep. Now, let me go deeper. Songwriters and publishers are the actual ones who earn royalties in as well as a small portion of the recording sales. The only current instance in which artists earn royalties is for public performances. Basically, when the song is played in a digital arena like in a YouTube or satellite radio situation. Or when it is a non-interactive, meaning the listener doesn't pick and choose songs to hear. and the listener is a subscriber to a type of service like Spotify, Google Play, or iTunes, and Pandora. Now, this only became possible around 1995 with the Digital Performing Rights in Song Recording Act. This act gave performers of music their first performance royalties. Now, the question should be, how does this all affect a producer? Producers are, in fact, paid a percentage of the artist's royalties. So, for instance, an artist earning a 17% royalty under their recording contract might agree to pay the producer a 4% royalty. This leaves the artist with only 13%. Now, in the music industry, this is considered production points, which refers to the royalty percentage that is generally a part of the producer's compensation. Typically, a producer negotiates between 2 and 4% of the retail sales of an album he or she produced, as well as a cash advance on those royalties, which we call upfront fees. And these fees range from anywhere from free to $15,000 per master, and sometimes even higher depending on the producer. Now, for my artists, what does all this have to do with you? Very simple. Because the first thing artists never do is sign up with a performing rights organization. And not just artists, producers, because you are considered artists as well. Now, what is a performing rights organization? For those who don't know, a performing rights organization is an association, corporation, or other entity that licenses the public performance of non-dramatic musical works on behalf of the copyright owners. Now, here are some examples or names of these type of organizations if you're not familiar with them. ASCAP, BMI, SESAC, SOCAN, and the list goes on and on. But these are only the most popular and widely used. Now, the most important thing that you can do right now is sign up for a performing rights organization. ASCAP, which stands for American Society of Composers and Performers, and BMI, Broadcast Musicians Incorporated. Now, these are performing rights organizations most people heard about. And when you own a copyright, you have certain rights, one of which is the right to perform your music publicly. In essence, it allows you to forbid anyone else from playing your songs in public. Anytime you hear a song and it's being performed publicly, whether on radio, on television, in a bar, restaurant, or even in an elevator, that is public performance. And as a copyright owner, you can forbid them from playing your songs. However, if you want to sell your music, you will want these places to play your music. Therefore, you will grant a license for a fee to all these places, allowing them to play your song. Needless to say, it would be impossible for you to negotiate a license with every single radio station, every nightclub, etc. In addition, it will be difficult for you to enforce your rights by suing these places who played your music without paying a license fee. This is where BMI and ASCAP fit in. Now, when you join, well, technically you don't join, you affiliate yourself with them. However, when you affiliate yourself with one of these organizations, you grant them the right to negotiate licenses for your songs with all the places music is performed publicly. By affiliating with ASCAP or BMI, you grant them the right to negotiate a license on your behalf, to collect and distribute revenue, and to enforce your performance copyright. 95% of all commercially released music is covered by one of these two organizations. And just as you could not negotiate a fee for each song you own, neither does BMI or ASCAP negotiate an individual fee for each song. Instead, they grant a blanket license. BMI and ASCAP go to each radio station and make a proposition. Basically, they say, we have the rights to millions of songs that you want to play. And for a flat fee of X amount of dollars, you can play all of our songs. In this way, by buying a license from BMI and ASCAP, radio stations can play 95% of all the music ever written. Now, each of these performing rights organizations negotiate a separate fee for each place where music will be performed publicly. The fees vary depending on the number of songs that we played, i.e. a bar which plays lounge music from 8 p.m. to midnight will pay less than an elevator which plays music 24 hours a day. Also, the size of the audience affects the amount of the fee. A large commercial radio station would pay more than a college radio station. Now, BMI and ASCAP collect enormous amounts of money through license fees. Now, in 1992, it was reported that over $638 million in performance royalties were collected. Now, the question becomes, what happens to all this money that performing rights organizations collect? Well, first things first, they have to pay their expenses. And also realize that they are all not-for-profit companies, or at least ASCAP and BMI. Now, after the bills are paid, they basically divide the money up with the rest of their members. Something you should know is both ASCAP and BMI keep track of what music is played and how frequently. So how they do this is basically radio stations must keep logbooks reporting every song they play. In this way, a top 40 song, which is played every 2 hours, will get more performance royalties than a song which is only played once a week. Now, in order to affiliate yourself with these particular organizations, I do know as an ASCAP member myself that ASCAP do have a fee, I think of $10, maybe even higher. I don't know because when I originally signed up, it was actually free. And with BMI, I really don't know. However, part 2 of this particular video will be posted on my channel shortly, which is basically helping you guys choose the right performing arts organization for you. Guys, we hope that this video was useful or gave you some kind of information you didn't know before. And if it did, make sure to hit the thumbs up button below. Also, don't forget, guys, as usual, if there's something that I left out, because we can't always cover everything in one particular video, make sure that you leave the comments below. Maybe there was a resource or performing arts organization that I didn't list or didn't mention or say, and that you find it necessary to tell the other producers or people that's watching this particular video that there are other organizations that I just didn't cover. So if that is the case, make sure you list it below. You know our philosophy, each one teach one, so help a brother out. From Music Millionaires TV and the Grammy Award winning team, The Peacemakers, along with Maschine Masters, and we'd like to say thank you for tuning in to this particular video again. And remember, guys, music is life. We out.